Hey guys, how's it going? Today is a great day. Sunny, still, supposed to get to 60 degrees, and we've got our 10-day full of 60+ degree temperatures with no freezing. But the other reason why it's a great day is this right here. We are going to do some planting today. We've got a gator full of gorgeous things. We've got 1 evergreen, 5 sedum, and 3 hydrangeas. Let's talk about this one first. I'm so excited about it. This right here is a variety of weeping Alaskan cedar, which I just love these trees. I think they're so graceful and elegant looking, and just they keep their deep green. I've got a couple others. We've got one right over there. It's kind of tucked behind a crabapple, but I planted it several years ago. It's a slightly different variety. This one is awesome in that it stays more narrow. So the variety, did I say, is Jubilee? Jubilee weeping Alaskan cedar. It grows about 25 feet tall, but only 12 feet wide, while the others will grow a little bit wider. There's also another variety that we've got out in the garden called Green Arrow, and it stays even more narrow, like 3 to 4 feet wide and 20 feet tall. So if you want that kind of look but don't have the space to dedicate for it, Green Arrow might be a really good one. These are full sun loving plants, but they're fast growing, like 15+ inches per year, which I feel like is pretty fast for an evergreen. And they say for this one, which I'm guessing that you need ideal conditions for this to happen, but sometimes they'll send up more trunks and you'll get like a little mini grove around this main tree. But the tag says that the trees thrive in moist and coastal conditions, which we clearly don't have here in high desert. We do drip irrigation. It'll get plenty of water, but just right at its root system. We don't water the whole area around it because that's, unless you have something planted, it's wasteful. So I don't expect ours to do that, but I think that would be such a neat thing. This one is hardy down to a zone 5, and I've got the perfect spot for it. Oh, what do we got going here? Russell, are you playing with, who else is out here? Thought I heard more. Oh, yep. Thought I heard more noise. So this one is going to go right in here. I think that's going to be a beautiful centerpiece tree. The other things we have here are some Lemon Jade sedum, which we have talked about before. It's one of my favorite sedums, upright sedums. I love the color of it. So it's got kind of like this medium sagey green colored leaf. These we wintered over behind our greenhouse. So they're just coming out of their dormancy, but they get these chartreuse kind of creamy looking buds, and then the buds open yellow. They grow about 1.5 feet tall or so and a couple feet wide, and they are zone 3 through 9, just incredibly tough. They don't want to be fertilized. They hardly want to be watered. They're one of those really nice, no fuss plants. And then we've got the 3 Limelight Prime hydrangeas that we just picked up at Far West when Aaron and I were out and about. These are to finish off our hedge out at the end of the south garden, which to do this, it's going to require us digging up that hibiscus that's sort of in the way. So we'll dig that out, relocate it somewhere else, and get these planted. And these 4 to 6 feet tall and wide, zone 3 through 8, they have been doing really well, all the other ones that we have out there. So I'm excited to get those in. Also, when we are in this area, you can see that Paul and Bethany just mulched, and it looks so beautiful. So I've brought my shovel out instead of the auger so we don't mess it up. But while we're out here, I would like to pop back behind this boxwood hedge. I've got 3 Queen of Sweden roses I need to clean up, as well as a rose I don't know what it's called, but it was here when we moved in. It's a beast. It's huge. I need to clean that up just a little bit. I think that's it in this area. Oh, oak leaf hydrangeas. I don't do any pruning. All I'm going to do is pop off their spent blooms. So I'll just follow a bloom down to where it ends right there. Basically just do that. That's how I maintain the oak leaves. So that is the order of the day, and I'm so beyond thrilled about it. Let's get this one in the ground. It's perfect. I just love it. It just fits in that area so beautifully. Now keep in mind, it's gonna grow 6 feet on either side of center, so 12 feet wide. That is a mature rose. When I cut it back today, it's actually gonna look like the gap is too wide, but you have to consider, you know, how wide it's going to grow every single season. So anyway, I think it's perfect. And then, you know, of course the blue spruce over here. So eventually they may touch, but this is such a, I don't know, unique shape. It's not growing strictly out, you know. I just think it's beautiful. Now in this area, you can see the yews right here, which I do plan on repeating on the other side. So we have some sort of rhythm in this space, and I think they look really pretty. And then we've got some tulips that we planted in here last fall. There's some Russian sage, and then what's that really tall, it blooms like in August and September, maybe just September and October. Yellow flowers. I didn't plant it there. It was here when we moved in. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, I'm gonna likely have to move some of those because I think I'm right on the edge with this evergreen. Like if we walk in here closer, you can see some of where it's gonna come up really close and it gets really large. So I might need to dig this clump out and move it somewhere else. But I just love this evergreen. And I actually knew this is exactly what I wanted to plant here when we formed this flower bed. It's just taken me a while to get my hands on it. Okay, so while we're in this area, I'm gonna go ahead and cut those 4 roses back, which will just take a few minutes, and then we'll move on to the rest of our planting. I think I need to go dump this first though, and we'll go ahead and dump our extra soil while we're at it. I always save these big thick plastic pots because they come in handy. They're like really high quality pots. Gosh, I do not know what is in here. It's heavy. Done in this area, it looks much better. Cut the big rose back, got the oak leaf hydrangeas deadheaded. These two are just exceptional. They really like this spot. This one right here, I think I planted this one at the same time I planted these other two. This one's not digging it quite as much. And then around the corner here, we've got more oak leaf hydrangeas. I need to plant one more. Or maybe I didn't because there's Russian sage. Yeah, there's Russian sage that comes up. Sometimes it's hard to remember what's in all the beds. But we've got Sedum, Russian sage, there's hostas in here, Japanese maple, and then I picked back up with oak leaf hydrangeas on the other side of the spruce. And then the Queen of Swedens. Boy, those grow very tight and narrow. They look better. And this tree, oh, perfect. Okay, let's go plant the sedum next after we unload our rose canes. I think if we put all 5 of the sedum right in here, that would be really pretty. We have the reminiscent pink roses in here, which are absolutely gorgeous. They smell amazing. They come out with these stems that have a huge cluster of blooms. Like it's a whole bouquet on one stem. And I just so enjoyed them last year, and I think this soft pink that they are will look beautiful with this soft green and kind of that creamy color. I think it's gonna be a really nice blend. have it. They don't look like too much at the moment, but they're looking a little more alive than the roses for sure. I think this is going to be a really sweet little area. I do feel like I could use like 2 more right here, and then maybe 1, 2, 3, like maybe, I don't know, a drift of 10 of them right here would look very impactful. But it's kind of perfect because we've got a drift of echinacea, which you can't see yet, but there are, I think, 5 or 7 pink blooming echinacea right here. I had to kind of bump these around a little bit because there's a water main. You can see the hose right back there, maybe. There's a water main coming from one of these zones that feeds the other side of the grass pathway. So it goes underneath the lawn over there and then feeds drip to that area there. So not only was that running through the area, but there's a brown drip tube snaking through the area as well, which is wonderful because we don't need to add drip right here. In fact, we might even have to pull it because the sedum won't want very much water. We'll just have to make sure the roses get it. But that made placing the plants a little bit difficult. Okay, last area, you guys, is digging up that hibiscus and getting the hydrangeas in. All right, we're here at the end of the south garden where we've got quite a number of limelight primes already. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's a gap down here I'd like to fill, and then the hibiscus that we're going to dig out is right here, and then we'll plant 2 more. So we'll have this giant curve of limelight primes. And I think this has been in, 2 or 3 seasons. It's a beast of a plant. Also, we originally just had 5 limelight primes in this space, and I know they're a little hard to see right now because they're just sticks, but we decided in the end that instead of having individual plants, we just wanted it to be a thick hedge. So we came in with extras in between, and I don't know what I was doing. Well, except for the fact that I kind of do. I couldn't really see where the center of the plant was. So this one looks okay. Actually, this one looks like it could be bumped forward like 4 inches. So does this one. So this one and that one were originals, and then this one is the one I came in with, and it's just bumped backward a little bit. And so is this one. And I don't know if it's going to really matter all that much. In the end, you might just be able to tell in winter, or you might just be able to tell when they're young. Or maybe I should dig it up and shift it a little bit. Oh no. Today we'll focus on just getting the 3 in and getting the hibiscus out. Well, we managed to get the hibiscus out of the ground, but
you managed to.
Oh, I got it out of the ground, but I couldn't get it up into the gator because, oh my gosh, that soil is wet and it's a huge root ball. But here we are out in the dirt lands, and we're just gonna pop it somewhere out here. I don't know, like,
stand somewhere and I'll
let's see. What if we put it like right in here? Right there, right where your boots are. Yes. We should just plant it right here. What came out right here? It looks like there was a hole. Well, there's the hibiscus. It should be happy out here. It's going to get full sun. We'll run drip to it. And we got a pretty decent sized root ball, I feel. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to get it any bigger. Yeah. We wouldn't have been able to move it. So anyway, it lives on. All right, let's go plant some hydrangeas. All right. First one is going to fill this gap right here. Oh, it's going to be perfect. Okay, this is roughly where they are all gonna go. Erin is digging up this tree. All done. Hibiscus out, 2 new hydrangeas planted there, and then the one over here. And they're spaced out fairly evenly. It gets a little tight, like right in here. These 3 are a little closer than the rest. I think this is the worst hedge I've ever planted in terms of spacing. And I think it's because this is my 3rd time coming in to plant more. I initially thought I just wanted, 5 individual plants back here. And then when the idea shifted, I don't know, things went awry. But I think in the end, it's not going to matter because these will just form nice big woody bases, and they'll all sort of have a little bit of a different shape anyway. And once they're all leafed out and in bloom, they'll look like one solid wall. Which is what we're going for really in the end. And the Limelight Prime is different from the Limelight in that it's a little bit of a smaller statured shrub. It still gets 4 to 6 feet tall and wide. So I definitely would say it's a medium size, but the regular Limelights want to get like 6 to 8 feet tall. We've got 3 in front of our house that, we really have to keep trimmed back. They do really well there. But I felt like this would be a really good size for this area because we've got another layer, a buddleia right behind it, and then a bunch of other beautiful things. And I like that the blooms start off white and kind of turn a green and then a very bright sort of pink in the fall. Anyway, guys, that is it for today's project. Super happy to be out here planting again, filling in some spots that I've been dreaming of filling. Like that evergreen is just, I can see it from here and it's just perfection. I love it. And then, fixing little things along the way that you want to fix. And it's one of those things where I don't know, you just got to get out there and do it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.